3 days to Paddy's Day. Well, I wanted to take a break, but they won't let me. They just won't let me. Let's read this and let's run through this really, really quick. So what happens is there's a post on Facebook with this. I just put in posters on the car in Ukraine. But the tweet that I found was saying, nothing to see here, just members of the Western-backed Ukraine forces placing images of Nazi collaborator Stepan Bandera on their vehicle. Bandera fought alongside Nazi Germany during World War II, killing thousands of Jews and Poles. Let's hope their Polish allies don't see this. While the massacre happened in Volhynia, he was actually in jail, but he was a part of an organization. He was main people that was collaborating with Germany. Some people are saying that he was trying to free Ukraine, and he was using Germans to get them away from the Soviet and Russia. But his organization he was part of killing people. 35 to 60,000 Poles, and counting Jews in, it's probably went up to 100,000 people that were killed. There's a movie from 2017, the Polish movie, it's in the same title, Volhynia. I haven't seen it, but I know the history. I don't have to watch it. It was a massacre. They were brutally murdered. They were raped. The kids and mothers, the men, they couldn't fight. Basically, shot, murdered, raped, brutally. But on the other hand, let's put the smiley face. And very possible those Ukrainians don't know the history. But the question is, who is driving the car? If you know, have a look. If you know that person's name, post it down in the comments. Send me a text, send me a tweet. All right. I'm on Telegram as well. I've just hooked up my Telegram. There's a Mayhem Shows podcast on it. You can subscribe, and everything I come across, it's going straight into it. So all my thoughts, all my findings, everything just runs through the Telegram. So if you miss it on your timeline, if you follow me on Twitter, you can basically find it there. Let's go back to Stepan Bandera. The history, I'm going to make it short. So he was born in Galicia, which was a part of Austria-Hungary, and into the family of a Greek Catholic priest, right? This is all on Wikipedia. You can find it there. You can read it yourself. You can find the history books as well. There was a war, Polish-Ukraine war, for Volhynia in 1918, 1919. So Poland were only after gaining independence, and they're trying to get as much area as they could. They probably belonged to them in the past. It's the history. Fuck. He could be really angry with Polish back then that they took the land, right? But he was in 1934. He was orchestrating the assassination of the Poland's Minister of the Interior, Bronisław Paraki. So he was basically recognized by Poles as a terrorist. Okay. Bandera was sentenced to death, but the sentence was basically commuted to life in imprisonment. In 1939, when the Soviets and Germans invaded Poland, he was either released or he escaped or he was freed. Imagine that all the jail staff is basically run away for their lives because the Germans are invading. They're left the jail unattended, and he just walks away. So he cultivates German military circles favorable to Ukrainian independence and organized UN expeditionary groups. He prepares the proclamation of Ukraine's statehood in Lviv in 1941. He's pledged to work with Nazi Germany, and for his refusal to resign the decree, Bandera was arrested by the Gestapo, which put him under house arrest, and he was sent into Sachsenhausen concentration camp. So in 1944, with Germany rapidly losing ground in war, Bandera was released in the hope that he would actually be instrumental in deterring the advance in Soviet forces. So basically, he's the UN organization fighting against the, fighting Soviets. What happens here is this. So you're going to come across Volhynia. It's a Volhynia. So between 1939 and 1943, Volhynian Poles had been already reduced to 8% of the region population, around 200,000 people. They were dispersed around the countryside, and they were deported. Uh, there was no local partisan army of their own state authority to protect them. So the UPA groups, they were pretended to be Soviet partisans, and they assaulted the villages. And there was in 1943 on February, the massacre there was the first mass murder committed by the UPA in this area. So the estimated of the numbers of victims range from 149 to 173, which is nothing comparing to what happens next. So there's another massacre in another village when they killed around 53 Poles, But then there's a letter sent out, as we said, one of the people, Dmytro Klaczewski, that was a head commander of UPA Nord, says we should make a large action on liquidation of the Polish element. As the German armies withdraw, we should take advantage of its convenient moment of liquidating the entire May population in the age from 16 to up to 60 years. We cannot lose this fight, and it's necessary at all costs to weaken Polish forces. Villages and settlements lying next to massive forests should disappear from the face of the earth. Well, however, the number of victims were women and children. In mid-1940, say it again, in mid-1943, after a wave of killings of Polish civilians, the Poles actually tried to negotiate with UPA. The two delegates of the Polish government in exile in the Home Army, Rommel and Markiewicz, attempted to negotiate with UPA leaders, but they were captured and murdered in the village of Kostyce. Some sources claim that they were tortured before their death. This is all UPA, Stepan Bandera's, little organization. The following day, July 11th, 1943, this is the bloodiest day of massacres, with many reports of UPA units marching from village to village and killing Polish civilians. So, they've absolutely obliterated villages. We're going from village to village killing people. Within a few days, and unspecified number of Polish villages were completely destroyed and their populations murdered. In a Polish village of Goro, out of 480 inhabitants, only 70 survived. In Jeszen, the UPA killed 306 of 340 Poles. In Sadowa, 600 Polish inhabitants, only 20 survived. Zagalia, 350 Poles killed, only few survived. But we're going on and on and on. The people died. And the saddest thing is, they were brutally murdered. It's unbelievable. The pictures are there. The history is there. The eyewitness, with information from the eyewitness, is there. But the funny thing is, so what happens here is he settles with his family in West Germany, Stepan Bandera, right? After all his adventures, where he remained the leader for UNB and worked with several anti-communist organizations such as the Bloc of Nations, as well as the British intelligence agencies. But 14 years after the end of the war, in 1959, he is assassinated by KGB in Munich. On the 22nd January 2010, President of Ukraine Viktor Yushchenko awarded Bandera the posthumous title of Hero of Ukraine. The European Parliament condemned the award, as did Russia, Polish and Jewish politicians and organizations. The incumbent president, the next president, he declared the award illegal, and basically in January 2010 the award was cancelled. And he remains a highly controversial figure in Ukraine, with some Ukrainians hail him as a liberator who fought against Soviet, Polish and Nazi states while trying to establish an independent Ukraine, while other Ukrainians, such as Poland, Russia, condemn him as a fascist. So Putin says there are fascists there in Russia, in Ukraine. Well, they condemned him as a fascist and war criminal who was, together with his followers, largely responsible for the massacres of Polish civilians and partially for the Holocaust in Ukraine. Okay, now that's it. There's nothing else I can add to it. The post is there, the pictures are there, the truck is driving around probably. It's on Facebook, anywhere you want. Have a good day.